Well, we've seen my least favorite movies of the 2019. Now it's time for my favorite movies of 2019.
I see it, and now it's all within my reach. Possibility. I see it now. It's always been inside of me. And now I feel so free. And there's possibility. And there's possibility. And there's possibility. And there's possibility.
Hello everyone, and today I'm counting down my top 10 favorite movies of 2019. Now let's set some ground rules before we make this list. First off, this is just my opinion, okay? So if a movie you like is not on this list, or a movie you dislike is not on this list, don't yell at me, okay? It's either because I liked the movie but didn't think it was good enough to be in the top 10, or I didn't like the movie at all. So there we go. And also, just a warning, I didn't see every movie of 2019, so that means movies like Knives Out, Jojo Rabbit, Ford v Ferrari, and I believe there was another one, Uncut Gems, and The Irishman will not be on this list, okay? I'm sorry, I did not get a chance to watch them, so there. And now that being said, let's talk about my top 5 honorable mentions. Number 5, Glass. I don't care what people say, I absolutely adored this movie, I think it was fantastic. Also, I want to talk about 2 other honorable mentions. Claus, a very good retelling of the Santa Claus mythology, and I also really like the animation, and the characters were really nice too. Marriage Story, I really love the acting. Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson were phenomenal. Both of them deserve Oscars in my opinion. I mean, I may love Joaquin Phoenix, but since he already got the Academy Award for Best Actor, I think Adam Driver should win it for Best Actor. I'm just saying. And also, there's Lego Movie, the second part. I absolutely adored this movie, just like the first movie, and yeah, it's really good. And also, another honorable mention is, of course, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Please don't get mad that I didn't put this movie on the list. Don't get me wrong, I really like this movie, but I didn't like it as much as the others. And finally, for my final honorable mention, it's Detective Pikachu. As a Pokemon fan, I absolutely adored this movie, and it almost made my top 10. So, yeah. Now, with that being said, it's time to count down my top 10 favorite movies of 2019. Starting off the list, we have number 10, It Chapter 2. This is the first time I ever saw a horror movie in the theaters for my birthday, and I absolutely adored this movie. It does have some problems here and there, like the pacing isn't very good, and I will admit, the second act, can get a little bit repetitive, like how it goes from one of the adults going to one of their places where they used to hang out at, finding their token, having a flashback to a scary Pennywise scene, and then something scary happening nowadays. That can get repetitive, and I must say, we did not need to see Ben's flashback at all, because it was literally pointless since he had his own token right at the start of the film. But other than that, I really liked the movie. I thought the horror was great, I thought the special effects were great, I thought the actors were great, especially Bill Hader and Bill Skarsgård. Funny, both Bills were the best part of the movie. I must say, they did fix one problem I had with the first movie in terms of Pennywise. Like, I could never understand why Georgie would want to be around Pennywise. He looks scary as crap, but here, when Pennywise is talking to the girl, he emotionally blackmails that girl into thinking in order to talk with him more. And that was really good. I must say, Bill Skarsgård was creepy as all heck. And I must say, Bill Hader stole the show in this movie. He was absolutely hilarious, and he did have some heartfelt moments, and I especially love his whole, yippee-ki-yay, mother! And then he got censored, that part was hilarious, and yeah, it's really good. So, number 9, 1917. Okay, I'll admit I just saw the movie, but it's still pretty good. I love how this movie is supposed to be in one take, even though when it's in the dark, you can kind of tell, yeah, they decided that, like, for example, whenever they went into, like, a dark scene, I could always tell, like, oh yeah, that's where they stopped filming, and that's where they picked it up, so that way they can easily make it look like it was one take, since you can't see anything. And I'll fully admit, that is a genius technique, and I will say the actors are really good, and I really love the characters in this movie. They're really good, and even though this movie is based on true events, I was still worried about these characters, and that scene in the underground bunker with the rat made me jump. I am not even joking, I jumped in the theater. And yeah, 1917 was a really good movie. Number 8, El Camino. this was a satisfying ending to Breaking Bad and to Jesse's character. Jesse Pinkman was phenomenal in this movie, and Aaron Paul was fantastic. He, in my opinion, deserved an Oscar, but still. I do have one problem with that movie where I feel like they could have used more of Skinny Pete and Badger, seeing how in the trailers they were going to have they had Skinny Pete being interviewed by some people, and I wish that was in the movie. But still, I had a blast with El Camino, and as a Breaking Bad fan, I was satisfied. Number 7, Joker. This movie is fantastic, and I love how we have a comic book movie that's getting a lot of Oscars, even though, I'm just saying, Academy, Avengers Endgame should have got more. I'm just saying, but still, Joaquin Phoenix was phenomenal in Joker. When I saw him, I didn't see Joaquin Phoenix. I saw a mentally ill man in a society that abandons him and treats him like trash. Sorry, I just had to get that joke out of the way. And you feel for him in this movie, because even though, yeah, he is the Joker, you kind of don't want him to become the Joker, but at the same time, you do want him to become the Joker. It's kind of a perfect blend. And yeah, the pacing in the first act was phenomenal. I will admit, in the second act, it kind of dipped down. But when he fully became the Joker and he put on that makeup, you felt it, and it was phenomenal. His breakdown in the on the Franklin Murray show was phenomenal, and also Robert De Niro was great in this movie. And yeah, I absolutely loved Joker, and I hope to God it wins Best Picture out of the Best Picture nominees. So yeah. Anywho, number 6 is Toy Story 4. I'm not gonna lie, I was against this movie's existence at first, but I must say, I had a blast seeing this movie in theaters with my dad, and yeah, I love Buzz and Woody. I will say Buzz, kind of unfunny in this movie, just saying, but I will say there is a lot of emotional moments in this movie. I cried hard during the first scene in the movie where there was a flashback, and we saw Andy's old room, and when they played You Got a Friend in Me, it got to me, okay? I got a little teary-eyed. And that ending with Buzz and Woody, okay, well, I cried, okay? I'm sorry, this was my childhood, and they're taking it away from me. I will fully admit, in terms of being a finale, it's not as good as Toy Story 3. In fact, I will admit Toy Story 3 was a much better finale. But for what we got, I had a blast with Toy Story 4. I love the new characters, like Forky, Ducky, and... Oh, crap, I was not trying to flip people off, just like, it was by accident. But I also love Ducky and Bunny. And I especially loved Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom. And yeah, I even loved what they did with Bo Peep in this movie, giving her more of a role. And yeah, I had a blast with this movie, to infinity and beyond. Number 5 on our list is a movie I'm surprised was able to make it into the top 5. Number 5 is Shazam! Yeah, a DCEU movie finally made it into my top 10 of 2019 of my favorite movies of the year list, and impressively made it into my top 5. I loved Shazam. It's easily the best movie in the DCEU. Even though it has a lot of serious moments, it's not like Batman vs. Superman, where they're trying to shove all this dark stuff into you to be all, oh yeah, we're so cool and edgy. Look at us, we're so cool. No, there's actually dark moments that make sense, and even though it has dark moments and comedy moments, they're able to blend really well. I mean, it doesn't feel tonally inconsistent. It feels natural in this movie. And yeah, I love Billy Batson. He was a fantastic character. And heck, this movie has good child actors. I'm not even joking. The child actors in this movie were actually really good, especially Astor Angel, and the guy who was Eddie from It. I'm sorry, but still, I love Shazam, and I'm really excited for Shazam too. Though I must say, DC, you finally gave me a movie I love. Well, 2 movies that I loved, but now you're going back to crap with Birds of Prey. I'm not seeing that movie in theaters, I'm just saying. But still. Number 4 on the list goes to Spider-Man Far From Home. Wow, 2 superhero movies back to back. What are the odds? I love this movie. It's probably my favorite live-action Spider-Man movie, along with The Amazing Spider-Man. While it's not as good as Spider-Verse, I still had a blast with this movie. I will fully admit, the first act was kind of bumpy. It did have some great moments, like with Peter at the interview. That part was great, but I don't know. Other parts were just not funny. But still, I love the characters. I love Peter in this movie. I love Mysterio. That illusion scene was fan-freaking-tastic. And I absolutely had a blast with Spider-Man Far From Home, and I'm excited to see where the future of the MCU with Spider-Man goes to. Number 3, time for my controversial movie pick of the year. Number 3 goes to The Rise of Skywalker. That's right, people. I put this movie at number 3, so ha! I will fully admit, movies that were on this list, like 1917, Joker, and heck, even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was an honorable mention, are objectively better movies than The Rise of Skywalker. I will fully admit that. But I love The Rise of Skywalker. The finale, it gave me a perfect ending, in my opinion. I cried hard during the ending where Rey said, Rey Skywalker, and we saw the twin suns, and it was just beautiful. And also, the actors were phenomenal, especially Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, and Ian McDiarmid. Ian McDiarmid was phenomenal as Palpatine. That first scene on Exegol made my heart stop in the theater. I am not even joking, people. I was scared to death of Palpatine in this movie. I'm not even joking. And also, Adam Driver was phenomenal in this movie, as I said it before. And I also love how we were able to finally have Poe, Rey, and Finn finally on an adventure together. And their adventure was fun. I'll fully admit, this movie does have problems. Like, the first act, well, the scene on Exegol was good. Could have been a lot better. This movie's third act was just Return of the Jedi, ending all over again. And I will fully admit, I wish there was more scenes in this movie. And I will admit, the editing was kind of weird at some points. And yeah, but here's the thing. I'm acknowledging both the good and the bad aspects of this movie, and not being all like, oh yeah, there's no flaws. I'm going to talk about every little detail in this movie and explain why it's the worst movie ever made. No, I'm not going to do that, because I'm just going to sit down and enjoy the ride. And I absolutely adored The Rise of Skywalker. Okay? I mean, it's not the best movie in the saga, but I absolutely adored it. Number 2 on this list goes to... Ooh, sorry about that. How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World. This was the only movie in 2019 I saw twice in the theater. And I'm not gonna lie, folks. I cried like a little schoolgirl during the ending. I'm sorry. It reminded me a lot of Toy Story 3's ending, and I loved it. How to Train Your Dragon The Hidden World is probably the best animated movie I have seen this entire decade, along with Toy Story 3. In fact, other than Toy Story 3, this is my favorite animated movie of the decade. Well, along with Spider-Verse, of course. But still, I loved Hiccup, I loved Toothless, I loved everything in this movie. I loved Grimmel as the villain, he was like the dark Hiccup. And yeah, How to Train Your Dragon 3 The Hidden World was satisfying. It was a perfect ending to the series. And for the love of God, DreamWorks, don't make a How to Train Your Dragon 4. I'm just saying. But that being said, what could possibly be my number 1 favorite movie of 2019? What could be my favorite movie of 2019? What could possibly be number 1 on this list? And I'm going to just say it right now. You probably know what it is. It's Avengers Endgame. This movie was so fantastic. I was so glad that I got to see this movie opening day. And you know what? I had a blast with this movie. I will fully admit, it pulled a Rian Johnson under us in the first 15 minutes and subverted our expectations. But still, I absolutely adored Avengers Endgame. This was everything I wanted and more. The characters were phenomenal. I even though this movie is dark in a lot of moments, like how we have Thor's depression, it is still kind of sad. I mean, think about it. While Thor jokes around and stuff, you can still see that he is in a depressed state because of all the things that have happened to him. This is what happens when people are depressed. They get drunk. They get fat. I'm not trying to offend any people who's fat out there, but still. And yeah, I also love the characters in this movie. I love how they expand more on Steve and Tony Stark. I mean, sure, they have been very expansive in these movies, but still, this is probably their best in the entire franchise. I love the characters, and I loved everything in this movie. The climax, where Cap grabs Mjolnir and uses it on Thanos, made me clap in the theater. And when, finally, after 7 years of waiting, hearing Captain America say, Avengers! Assemble, made me clap like a madman, and I was literally about to just go like, woohoo! What? No, someone stopped me. And hearing Tony say, and I am Iron Man, made me cry. I absolutely adored Avengers Endgame, and there we go. So that was my top 10 favorite movies of 2019. What did you think? And post down in the comments below what your favorite movies of 2019 were. See you all later, and peace out.